So we get the boss lady decided to show up after work. So we got her. Nolan had to go to track practice. So bear with us as the boss lady gets settled in and comfy. But we've got 7 and 8 in here. Litter mate Hampshire males to the last one we started with. This is 17-4 and 17-5. Again, they are, what did I say?
Blackstones.
Blackstone all day. Both of them, we're talking mid-Januaries on these. So big bears that can feed all summer long. Very good Hampshire males, in my opinion.
Absolutely, and as Becca gets the lot 7 kind of hooked up here, I think this is a State Fair Bear Deluxe right here. And if you're looking for a State Fair Hampshire Bear, this is the one that you need to grab a hold of. And if that's your target, if Springfield or Indianapolis or Columbus is your target, this is the one you need to grab a hold of. In my opinion, I think his balance, his build, his look from the side, and just his presence is so good. He doesn't want to get he likes the camera, it looks like, because he doesn't want to get any farther away. But man, this thing is good looking out of the front side of his shoulder. He's still got a clean jawline, but a good throat latch. I think his balance and just his presence from the side is going to take you right to pen 1 right out of the gate. I think everything about this hog just matches so well, not only from a proportion standpoint and a height to length ratio standpoint from the side, but this one for me I think is so mechanical in terms of his build at the surface. A very, very nice bear to go ahead and be 7th. And Andy, that's the State Fair one. If you don't want to do anything in between or want to be, later into July, into State Fair, that one targets
Definitely
for me
agree with that.
right there.
We're going to see if these two can get a little more cooperating. They look. Do they just look like they don't like us yet?
Yeah.
They're a little close to us.
We're okay. We're going to get them hooked up here because I think this is a very nice pair, and we darn sure need to do it. Here we go. Now we're having friends. Like the bottle.
Becca must have been absent this week. Well, in training.
Yeah.
They're not sure about her yet.
You better watch your mouth. You might be in trouble later. So.
Oh, I'm used to the doghouse by now.
Yeah. Does it have heat at your house?
No.
It doesn't.
No, she kicks me clear to the curb.
Yeah. Yeah. So we jump into lot 8, and that's the bear here on the corner.
The white-legged one.
Kind of the white-legged one. And if Becca wants to jump on the other one, if he'll drag just a little bit for us.
He's a little spookier.
Little spookier, but man, I think this one has everything you've ever wanted and more. If you like him to feed him on the edge, you want to go early and often, but still have some of those indicators to go ahead and feed to the finish line. I think this white-legged one is for you. I love white-legged Hampshire bears, Andy, and I think this one's got a cute show bear ahead about him, but at the same time, as he turns and comes directly at the camera, man, that's a massive chest floor. That's a huge rib cage. That's a big shapely back and a big upper pin and rump to go with it. With all that extra stuff, that thing is still square. He's still agile. He still has all the extras that you would ever want, but still from a balance, a build standpoint, a functionality standpoint, we don't talk a lot of that in bears, but I think he is one that we need to talk about because he has so much, but he's still so practical and so comfortable as you take him to the surface.
He looks exactly like what you want him to look like at 300 pounds.
Absolutely.
That bear is going to be able to hold himself. He's on the edge, but he's still, his hock and hip and hind leg just still sits inside of himself where it's got to be at.
And now
Becca's getting that one hooked up real good.
We got
now.
lot 7 hooked up now, and some of these are just a little bit more timid here today, and that's okay. And from that standpoint, and I followed Smith's program here the last 3-4 years, obviously being involved on the feed side of things just a little bit. But from that standpoint, this Hampshire deal for them has been dynamite, and these things go home, they feed, they do the right things. It's very, very enjoyable when someone calls you on an online sale and says, hey, which one do I need to buy? And you say, this one. And they say, well, this one looks a little like this to me. And you say, yep, kind of as they're presented is what you're going to get at Smith's. For me, they're
not fake and fluffy here.
Exactly.
That one's a little fluffy, but that's all natural.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think two opposite ends of the spectrums. You got a State Fair Bear Deluxe. You got a bear that can go early and often, but I still think with the right feed bucket and the right feed program, he can make the distance.
Yes, sir.